Hi, Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I want to welcome you to my stamp studio. Let me fix my camera here a little bit. If you're out there listening and can hear me, let me know. I'm sure that you can. I'm absolutely certain that I have everything set up the way I need to be. Hopefully I do. So if you give me a thumbs up or even a comment, tell me know where you're watching from. That'd be great. I have quite a bit to get through tonight. I, of course, added a few things at the last minute because, I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to do. So, take a breath and we'll get started. All right, so this week, oh, hi Cindy, yay. So this week, the first month of the In Color Club went out, except for 2 people that signed up last weekend. So your stuff I think is coming hopefully tomorrow or Saturday. And I will get the rest of the packet. I have it all together, ready to go. I'm just waiting on a few things. From Wisconsin. Where are you from in Wisconsin, Cindy? The paper shares went out. I'm having issues with my phone, so I'm kind of hoping that we don't stall out. And I don't know if it's messages I'm getting or what. I did put it on Do Not Disturb, but looks like something might be coming through. So hopefully, oh, maybe it's because I don't have it plugged in. All right, let's just hang on a second while I plug this in. That could very well be the issue. Hopefully that's the issue. There. It's plugged in. We'll see what happens. Hi, Terry. All right, so I've got, okay, paper shares went out this week, except for one packet that I'm going to send out tomorrow. So I needed another legal envelope and they didn't carry them here at our post office. So those are going out. And the other thing that went out this week were the packets for the tutorial for April. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my demonstration tonight because the paper that I had originally put into that tutorial has gone on back order. And so I ordered something different. Hi, Diana. I'm glad you could make it. And Lynn, yay. Okay. So I'm just going to show you some new samples with the paper that's in your kit. It still uses all the in colors, so that still worked out. You still got a whole bunch of stuff. We just didn't have that designer series paper anymore. So, well, we're going to get it back in. So it's just on back order. Nobody panic. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to flip my camera over and we'll get started. A couple of things I want to remind people, and I'll probably say it again. Stampin' Up! Announced today that on Tuesday, for 24 hours, there'll be free shipping on any orders over $75. So if you love free shipping, and who doesn't, place an order on Tuesday. And that would be great. So, all right, let me flip my camera. All right, so I'm going to start and show you the cards that I got this week. This was really nice. This was from Vicky, and it was just Vicky thanking me for coming back online, and she was glad that I was. It's always nice to see that, and she also thanked me for the Stampin' Up! Catalog. If you don't have a catalog, let me know, and I will get one sent out to you if you don't have a demonstrator already or aren't a demonstrator. This particular card came from a friend of mine up in Billings. I love it. It's just so cute and so festive with those little kids. So this one came from Carla. And then this one here this was actually from a kit, I believe. And this came from Maureen, another customer of mine. So really a fun. This is a kit. I think you can even buy it now. I probably shouldn't say that, but I think you can. I think it's on sale. So that's fun. A couple of things. The starter kit special is still going on. So if you are interested in becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and getting all of this $82 worth of product for free, on top of the $125 of product that you're going to get for $99 and free shipping, let me know and I'll hook you up. It's a great way to get a discount. I know that some people are not really happy with the catalog and that they don't have pages for just like the papers, punches, dies. So I'm actually compiling them. This is some PDFs I did for my paper share people. And it's just the designer series paper, what kind it is, where it is in the book, and the colors that coordinate with it. So I'm going to post these. I haven't yet, but I will put them on my list of things to do this weekend and get those posted onto my website, that PDFs that you can just print down. And so you could go there and you could print off a PDF of the designer series paper, one of the punches, and one of the dies. I know those are the things that people are frustrated with, so because they're not really in the catalog. All right, so I'm going to pull out, show you the kit. So this is the packet of supplies that people get when they place a $50 order with me in any given month. It's always different. So it coordinates with the tutorial that I do for that month. So this particular tutorial used the Softly Said stamp set, and then all of the in colors and designer series paper. And I'll show you, once I've gone through this packet, I'll show you the original cards and the new cards that you can make with paper. But you got a sampling of each of the colors of ribbon, some embellishments, cardstock. So I usually send, enough cardstock to make the cards, plus you get extra. This one happened to have all 5 of the in colors and then 2 sheets of basic white. Let me put this back together so I don't lose it. And and then the paper. And so this month they were supposed to get the designer series paper in the in colors, but they actually got the Unbounded Love paper, which also uses the in colors. So that worked out kind of nice because you're still using the same colors. Double-sided. You get a 6x6 sample of this, and then the tutorials to make them. And I've got a couple of the cards here I'm going to show, but I wanted to show a couple of things. So here's the card. So this was like the original designer series paper. And this is using the new designer series paper. This one you can see I put together crooked. I did that on purpose. This one I put straight, but then my ribbon got funky. But I didn't want to show people. So to do the ribbon like that, fringy, just cut off a little sample of ribbon and then just pull. And eventually you'll get a string that you can just keep pulling. Pull it like that though. Don't pull it so tight because then it gets kind of funky looking. But if you pull the strings out, you'll get nice fringy ribbon like that. And I just attached that with adhesive to the back of the label and then attached it to my card and then added some dots. And you're not getting the dots because they were on back order also, but you're getting the shimmery gems, which are pretty too. So that's that card. This card, Thinking of You, this is the original, this is the newest one. And you don't have to pick the colors I picked. I just kind of went through and picked to see what went good together. But I want to show you how I did the label. And somewhere here, I have a piece of, oh, there it is. All right, so you're going to take your stamp and put it on a big block. I used this heartfelt hexagon label in several of the cards, but I wanted to show you how I made it a bigger punch. Okay, so we're going to use Summer Splash. And we're going to stamp. My in colors are so juicy. Don't get me wrong, I love it. All right, so you're going to stamp this onto your cardstock. And then, put that away before I get ink everywhere. Then you're going to take your heartfelt hexagon punch. And this time you're going to just do it backwards. And you're going to slide your paper into that punch. Yeah, I could have made this bigger. Kind of wish I had. So I cut my paper at 2, but I think I should have cut it at 2 1/4. I'm going to do it at 2 1/4 because I want you to see the real effect of that. Let me find a piece of, somewhere in my mess here. Here we go, this will work. This was a piece of paper that I cut for something I'm doing tonight, and then I was looking for something to punch a circle out with. I grabbed it and cut it. So I have to cut another one of those anyway. All right, so I did 2 1/4. Now I suppose I got it too big. This is what live YouTube is all about, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it at 2. Instead of 2 1/4, I went down 1 to 2 3/8. Right? No, 1, 2, 3. 2 3/8. All right, so now we'll ink up this stamp again. Boy, I put this glass mat down. I don't know. It's kind of loud when it clinks on there. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on here. And you know I couldn't, if I punched it through here, it's going to cut it off. So if I just turn my punch over, slide my paper in to the slot, maybe. Remember, it's live television, so just line it up where you want to punch it. And then hold on to it better than that. I'm going to fix that. Make sure you go all the way through with your punch. Let's try this side. I'm getting kind of frustrated, and I'm just not going to make it easier. All right, there we go. Okay, so I got it in there. Got it where I want it. Completely punch it down. Get the paper out of there. We're going to do this one again. This one has a little notch right there. That's what's getting stuck on it. So really, once you put it in there, punch it all the way through. Oh goodness, you guys get the idea. It's not really that difficult. I don't know why it's being so difficult for me, but that's how I made the label bigger so that it would work with that thinking of you. All right. So that's that one. This card is the original. This one is the new one. Looks very similar, just different paper. So all those tutorials that I give every month, you could use any paper. This is the original. This is the newest version, but you could use any paper and any stamp set, and it will look great. And then this thank you here is original, new one. So I think you get the idea. Now this one, I'm gonna pull this out. Oh yeah, so this is the original, and this is the new one. And I started to put this together, and what I found was, you see that peach pie ribbon? You can't even see it. So I probably would use Petunia Pop on this one just because there's Petunia Pop in that paper. So there's that. What I did with this thank you is I actually stamped it. It's one stamp. I cut it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my dimensionals. And just so you're aware, I like to use my dimensionals, and I like to use all the edges. So I cut these, and then I'm going to flip this over. So I use the whole sheet. I don't leave any on there until they're gone, until I throw it away. So I'm going to put a couple on the think, and then a couple on the you. Like I said, I'd do the ribbon differently, but I'm going to do it this way for now. So these packets went out this week. So you should have received them or should be getting them. If you placed an order over $50 with me in April. I'm going to show a couple more cards. So that I just fussy cut that one. So there's that. So just remember that anytime I do a tutorial, you can use any paper that you've got. I wanted to show a couple cards that I got using that same Unbounded Love. So this is one I received when I was down in Mexico from Janice Waitman. Take them out of these envelopes because you'll actually be able to see it without that glare. But I love it. It's super simple. And she does do a couple of the dots, a layer of paper, a layer of petunia, and a layer of basic white, a ribbon, and a label. Cute card. This one is one of my favorites, and I think it has a lot to do with the peach color. So this was from Andre. I'm not going to even try her last name because I don't know it. She's from another country. So I think it's French. So she's probably from Quebec. Doesn't say that on here, but I just think this one's beautiful. So she used that same Unbounded Love paper, the peach background, a little bit of ribbon, some rhinestones, and then stamped the Unbounded Love flowers. And also did some die cutting of flowers. Cute. And then this one, I love this one. This is from Darla Watson out of California. Again, she uses that same peach paper, and also she's using Calypso Coral. But that is beautiful, those colors together. And then this is Designer Series paper here. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. All right. So that is all about the tutorial. I wanted people to know that. So the tutorial for this month uses the airplane, Take to the Skies, and I've shown it. I want to show it again. And I used Wink Estella to make it sharp or shiny. But yeah, so when you place an order with me over $50, any order gets a tutorial. Over $50 gets a packet to make the cards in the tutorial. So you'll get a packet with the paper, the cardstock, the linen thread, and the embellishments that I used. But I wanted to show another card that somebody had given me down in Mexico. And this one, I don't know who this is. All it says on here is stamped and created by you. But it's a card, and look at the work she did. So she made these keychains with our little Mexican logo on there. This actually was kind of hanging off the plane, so it looked like it was flying. And then this pops up. It's one of those pop-up cards. So if it was sitting on a shelf, it would look like that with the background. But a work of art. She put some work into that one. All right, so Jana has a question. Oh yeah, she sent me a message. Should she emboss cardstock first and then run it through the die cutter, or punch out the shape, or punch die cut out the shape and then run it through the embossing machine? All right, so this is my advice to you. The more that you touch your cardstock, so you have a piece of cardstock, and if you decide to emboss it and you emboss it, you want to make sure it's the oils on your hands and the static in your, I guess, your house or your body or whatever, that puts so when you put the powder on, it makes kind of a mess. And it will stick to the oil on your hands, especially if you've had lotion on your hands. I would recommend that you always use some form of an embossing buddy. So this is an embossing buddy that we sell. I don't know what's in it. I've heard that it's cornstarch, but it's just a little, I mean, one will last you a lifetime. But you rub that over the paper and then stamp and then put your powder on and then heat it. If I were going to do die cutting, let me grab a set of dies. So we'll look at these because I have them sitting here. So if I were going to die cut, if I were going to emboss and die cut like this image here, I would need this die. And I would tell you that I would emboss it first, and then die cut it. And the reason is because the shape needs to be the same, and to line up, this would be easier to line up because it's photopolymer. So you could line it up, but I personally would emboss it first and then put it, through the embossing folder. Oh, I meant put through an embossing folder. Oh, let me go back. You can do it either way. No, I would stamp your images first and then put them through the embossing folder. Because if you stamp your images after and put them through the embossing folder, you're going to have the texture of the embossing folder is going to mess up your stamp. So let me show you what I mean. Now that we're on the same page, Jana, I'll show you what I mean. Let me grab. All right, let's grab this big one. I haven't used it yet. So this is the new one of the newest embossing folders. It is large, as you can see. You don't really see how large it is. So this is one of our bigger brick ones. Look at how much bigger it is than that. This is a big embossing folder. And then this is one of our just regular size embossing folders. So you really can see the difference. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. I just happen to have one sitting here. And all right, so I am just going to stamp. We'll stamp this because it's sitting right here. We'll stamp this thinking of you because it's sitting right here. Ink it up. Stamp it down. Put it in the embossing folder. Let me go over and run this through. It won't take me but a minute. It's kind of set up. I've got so much stuff laying around that it's all good. Just have to dig under a pile just to find the number 4 plate. Oh. All right, so we'll put that through my machine. Oh, it's tight. Woo! Have a workout. All right, so now when I bring this over here, you can see that you can still read the Thinking of You. It's embossed. However, if I took my Thinking of You stamp, once it's embossed, we'll just use this as scratch paper. And well, I'll just stamp it here. Because of that embossing, you're not going to get a good image because the embossed part is standing up to it. I don't know what it would look like on this side. I think it'll have holes in it. Yeah. So on the back side, where it's flat, you're going to get a good image, but where the embossing is, you're not. But if you stamp it and then run it through your embossing machine, you're going to have a good image. Does that answer your question, Jana? I hope. Oh, good, Tana. You finally caught me live. Yay. All right. So I showed that. All right. So I seem to be like flying through this here. I don't know why. However, that's all right. We'll just keep plugging away. I don't know why it seems to be going. I'm not going to say it so smoothly. All right. So this next card that I'm going to show you, I showed you the punch, right? All right. So this next card that I'm going to show you is using this paper. So this paper is called, is it lavender? I'm looking for the pack. Here it is. Perennial Lavender. This was a paper that came out in the mini catalog this spring, and it actually is in our big catalog too. So it's still available. It's a great paper. But I saw this technique done by another demonstrator and thought, oh, I need to show people how to do this because it's pretty cool. Let me close up this ink pad before I get summer splash all over my stuff. So you're going to take a piece of 12 by 12 paper, and I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 12. Remember, you've got a cutting blade and a scoring blade. Today I was in the middle of a project and I was chugging along, and pretty soon I hit the cutting blade when I meant to hit the scoring blade. All right, so once you're going to do that, you're going to take your cutter, you're going to make more room. I'm going to bring out the arm so that I have lots of measurements, and I'm going to score this at 2, 4, 8, and 10. For those of you who are getting the tutorial too, I took pictures of my new cards tonight. So tonight when I get off of this, I will upload them onto the tutorial website so that you have them. All right, so there's your piece of cardstock, and we have scored it, and I can go ahead and fold it. I have to do one more measurement. So what I want to do is I want to go, so I'm going to go down here. So this is 5 1/2, and so half of that is 2 5/8. So I'm going to move this to 2 5/8, and I'm going to take a little pen, and right in the groove where the cutting groove is, I'm just going to put a little pen mark because I'm going to cut that off. And I want to make sure it's right. So again, 2 5/8, which is just half of that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my cutter. And so I'm cutting it at this 2-inch score line is lining up to the gutter of the cutter there. And then the 2-inch mark, I'm going to line up to this gutter. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut it off. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. So the 2-inch side is at the gutter, and then the 2-inch side, the mark is here. I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take this piece of cardstock. Denise, you're absolutely right. This paper is so pretty that you could just leave it. I mean, I made some things with it that were super easy, but because of the paper, it looked fabulous. All right, I'm going to tell you something I just did wrong, but I'm going to keep moving forward here with my card. If you look at my flowers, they're upside down. So it happens. Happens to the best of us. The ones on the outside won't be. All right, so then I'm going to put a little bit of green glue. The only reason I use green glue on this is because it gives me just a little bit of time to move my paper, or to move this paper and get it right back in the corner where I want it. So I go right down to the corner and put that on there. And do the same with this side. I'll bring out another piece that I did because I think kind of the opposite of this one. Put that in there. And there's your card, beginnings of a card. And then when they open it up, you know, it's kind of a cool fold. All right, so I just made this one like 10 minutes before you guys came on. So I did the paper, but this time, this one, I folded it back instead of folded it forward. So the flowers are actually on the inside of the card. And then I just cut a circle and added a few die cuts to the front of it. But I wanted to show, oh, and then I placed this onto a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock just to give it some stability. So really super simple. The paper does all the work. You can actually flip the paper the other way and do it just the opposite. Just gives you a different look. But I'm going to do some stamping now. Oh, it's hot in here tonight. Somewhere. Okay, so I need to cut a piece of Whisper White or basic white cardstock because, oh wait, here I did cut one. So I have that, and I have some markers. Did I put it away? Sometimes I wish I had one of you guys sitting here next to me so that when I set something down, you can say, no, it's right there. I found it. So there, it's right there. All right, so I'm going to use this stamp set on this. And I showed this technique a couple months ago, but I love it. And I think it's always something good for people to see again, because you'll get a different look. So there is the stamp. I think I'll come in with pretty in pink. Yeah, what the heck. We'll put a lot of color into this one. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this stamp up with pretty in pink and flip it over. And then I'm going to look at my markers, and I'm going to come in with the lightest color first and this is called, I can't remember, what's it called, Terry? Had a name once. But you pouncing. So you just pounce it, pounce it on your stamp. And so this was Highland Heather. This is Gorgeous Grape, and I got all these colors right from that paper. And then to really give it some color, I'm going to give it some Berry Burst. So yeah, I took these colors directly from the paper. Once I've done that, I'm going to haw on it. So I'm like steaming up a shower. And I'm going to stamp it on my cardstock. Ta-da! And you just get a whole bunch of texture and flowers. Like, look at these. I mean, they're very similar to what's in this paper. Kind of the easy way. Now, personally, if I was going to do this more than once, like if I was going to do a whole bunch of cards, I would wash this in between because you don't really want to get Berry Burst into your bubble bath, I guess is what I used. All right, so that's that one. And then I'm going to take this one. This is just the stems. And this time I'm going to use Lost Lagoon, my most favorite color ever right now for the moment. So I just put Lost Lagoon all over that stamp. And then I'm going to come in and just add a little bit of Shaded Spruce. Just a little bit on there. It seems kind of dry, but... And then we're going to stamp this on there. And you get that two-tone look. So just kind of a fun way to change up your stamps. Easy technique. This is going to go on the inside of my... So I cut this down to... I'll tell the measurements here in a minute. So this, the base, this one is 5.5 by 4.25. And then this one is 5.25 by 12. And then this one here is 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to stamp a sentiment in there with a stamp. I don't have one out here, so I'll do it in a minute. Now, the one thing I did do on this one, which I'm not really thrilled about, is I thought I was using Lost Lagoon, and I used an old brush that didn't have Lost Lagoon in it. It had, I don't know, some funky green. But I can just sponge over it again. But there, super simple card using your papers. People will be impressed. All right. Yes, I do love the thumping technique, Terry. It's one of those things that I usually do in the fall. Because I do it with lots of leaf stamps. Jana, I can't see your total comment, so let me come and see if I can. Somehow I got to figure out how to. Oh, there it is. All right. I have a circle punch. Do I punch first, then run the circles through the embossing folder, or do I run the card stock through the embossing folder and then punch? All right, I get what you mean. Sorry. What I will tell you is, with your punches, as with your dies, when you have a piece of cardstock that you've embossed, it has torn the fibers of that piece of cardstock. So chances are good that when you go to punch out a circle, this is probably going to work. Yeah, it is. You know, chances are it'll work until your punch gets a little dull. And then it might just, because depending on how much it's tore the fibers of that cardstock, it might tear it an edge. But I have a really sharp circle punch, so I'm sure that it's going to be fine. Those are kind of cool. So yeah, I think you could do it that way, or you could punch the circles and put them on the embossing folder. The nice thing about this is once you punch the circles, if I want it to be right smack dab in the middle of that circle, I can make sure that it gets there. Does that make sense? So you have a little bit more control on where the embossing is. Does that, Matt? Does that help? I hope that helps. It's just sometimes, you know. Oh, there we go. All right. I'm just scrolling right now. Okay, perfect. All right. I don't know if there's anything else. I will tell you that I'm working on a couple of projects. Probably going to be sending out information on some online classes I'm going to do that would involve, making things, not necessarily just cards. So I might do some home decor. Let me grab my bird thing. I love this. This was one of the first things I made when I got home with this and got this stamp set. And this is one of those projects that I'd like to do as an online class. So it's a 12 by 12 paper. I would do a class on it. You would get, the cardstock, the embellishments, the ribbon, the papers, everything to make the actual project, and then a tutorial that goes with it. So that's one of the things I'm working on, and I'm actually thinking I did a couple of scrapbook classes. I don't know if I think it was in the winter. That went over really well, and I'm probably going to do some of those. So I'm just kind of working on stuff, trying to figure out exactly where I want to go. I'm going to continue to always do these Thursday nights because they're fun. I'm going to hope that I don't get too carried away and overwhelm you with stuff I'm showing, and that I'm able to answer questions. So that's all right, Jana. It's fine. It's not necessarily was you that was unclear. It could have been me that was not actually getting it. So I'm glad that we finally figured it out. That's what these are for. So, all right. So don't forget, Tuesday, free shipping, any order over $75. Starter kit is on sale this month till the end of May if you want the new in colors. Terry, it's probably going to start as online classes. I would like to start doing some in-person classes. I just have to figure out my time. And if I do them in Red Lodge or if I do them in Billings, I'm not sure. I just am not sure yet. So I'm not going to commit to that until I commit to my online classes. So I hope that helps. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Because if not, I'm going to clean up my mess and get things done. Oh, thanks, Diana. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. This has really been inspiring for me. Yep, Denise, you're right. Sometimes the products look so much nicer. Just the cards. I mean, you can see a picture of that, but it's not nearly as cool as it is in person. I will let you know, Terry. Thank you. Hi, Marie from Virginia. Henrico, Virginia. Never heard of it. I've never been to Virginia, but every state is on my bucket list, so maybe I'll get there one of these days. All right, if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to let you go. I will see you next Thursday. And I got a mess to clean up in here, so I will speak with you all soon. Thank you. Have a great night, guys.